I'm gonna try and finish. I want to reach 1,000 Star Trek the original series principles. I have also over 1,000 for the Next Generation and also for other ones. But I want to finish at least Star Trek the original series principles. I have about 1,079. I stopped at about 880. Okay, so I should have here another 200 or so. Maybe take an hour or so. Coincidence, I don't know, the camera is still focusing I did something, I don't know what I did. Focusing very closely, I don't know why. Anyway, I have Star Trek signed. That was just a bag I got. It's a big bag. Just a bag I got at Comic-Con when I bought t-shirts. Comic-Con in Montreal. This right behind me, just below that, is a picture of engineers, civil engineers eating lunch way up in the sky. I think it just shows you how important it is to have correct engineering, because nobody would do that. They seem heroic, but really it's stupid, because I think they probably put two pictures together, because it's civil engineering. You don't build the building like that. I think you build the base, you build the lower floors first, and then afterwards, when you can put around barriers around it, and then you go higher and higher. So it's not that dangerous. Here you have, I don't know if you have like 10 floors or something, and all it is beams, and they're sitting down on the 10th floor beams eating lunch, not even scared, not scared of falling. Very stupid. So nobody would do that. So it shows you how good engineering makes a difference. They could die. If they did that, they could die just by falling. Okay. Wait a second, I'll put the date. Today is March 12, 2016. It's 3:20 about. That clock is about 20 minutes fast. I think tonight we changed the clock. It's spring, one hour forward. I'm wearing this yellow shirt. It's very coincidence. Yesterday after work, after leaving McGill University Teaching Hospital, I found this shirt outside. It was only very cheap, only $5. He said he reduced it from $20. It's like yellow shirt. This I'm recording the final, and I'm recording it on top of the Star Trek number 4, which is the Voyage Home. Okay, I'll try and go a bit faster. Okay, first of all, 880. I think I recorded that one, but I'll repeat just the first two or three of them. 880. Leader sees his wife flirting with Captain. She drugs Captain by making him smell a flower. Because many drugs come from plants, from the Amazon jungle or something. They say we only know a few of the drugs from the Amazon jungle. Olivia Newton-John's husband, I think, has a company that gets drugs from the Amazon jungle. 882. Groups of enemies receives the other leader's wife and don't believe her. They just try to have sex with her, but she resists. Okay, so 883. Okay, I think this is where it actually starts. By By the way, this is the 50th anniversary of Star Trek this year. There's a movie coming out very soon. This is page 88. Number 883. Captain realizes wife of his friend took his phaser. It is too advanced, the technology, and so he went after her. 884. They find wife with enemy, and the enemy believes wrongly that it was a trap she set for them. So they kill her. A misunderstanding. 885. Chief Doctor says that Captain's friend will be first to be killed since he refuses to kill. So more bad news. 886. But Captain wants to kill enemy now that saw them kill his wife and asked Captain for weapons. 887. Captain says war is no life, but it is a life. 888. Before, wife told her husband that since he won't fight and his friends won't help him with weapons, then they are not his friends and he is not her husband. 889. So wife of leader even defected to the enemy willingly, which is a rare thing. 890. When woman drugged Captain, his mind was unclear and he acted strangely and attracted to her. Didn't even care about monster coming to kill him. And this is a kind of mental illness simply by taking a drug. 891. Aliens, the Balkans, humans, Klingons, Romulans, organs are organized differently in their body, so can save person when shot at. Because you shoot him in the wrong place. Okay. Super being. Okay. Number 892. Super being contacts spaceship and requires people to beam down. They have something to discuss. 893. Problem: the transporter cannot beam them through deep layer of solid rock that far down. The technology is not good enough for that. 894. The alien voice tells them that he will take care of it. 895. Doctor wonders if alien super being can be trusted, can materialize into solid rock and die. 896. Another officer comes off the transporter chamber. Captain asks why. She says that she was summoned there. The transporter room. 897. The away team is transported to a location deep inside the planet's surface. It works. Have humanoid environmental condition. 898. A lighted small sphere speaks to the captain and crew, calling them my children. He says he needs to borrow their bodies to construct robot bodies so that they can leave these receptacles and help people throughout the galaxy. 899. The doctor is very distressed by the idea of two men and a woman being stored in receptacles while super beings takes their bodies. 900. It's only about 100 left to go to reach 1,000. Super being says they are free to accept or not, but another spaceship may not come for a while. 901. One super being takes the body of the captain and the captain's mind or soul is transferred to the receptacle. 902. The body of the captain is burning up, vital signs in danger zone. Doctor is worried and tells him he must leave the body immediately. 903. The transference back is successful and super being says that he can prepare a drug to help compensate for the higher metabolism long enough for the androids to be constructed. so they can transfer their minds from the receptacles to the androids and help people all over the universe. These are very powerful beings. 904. The away team goes back to the spaceship and the sensor and the senior officers decide if they are going to accept this proposal. The third female officer needed for transfer with captain and first officer is also there. They have a heated debate. 905. The captain gives an eloquent, emotional, powerful speech. Why they must do it. To the engineer, he says, and imagine engines the size of walnuts. To the doctor, new medical techniques. He can order it, but he won't. It is risky, but risk is their business. The potential for disaster is great, but the potential payoffs are equally great. They agreed to do it in the end. And they had a conference meeting. In 906, the 3 receptacles are beamed aboard the spaceship. There is thrust on both sides. Okay. Page 91. 907 principle. Science officer, captain, and woman officer are transferred to 3 receptacles, and the 3 super beings take their bodies. 908. They all feel faint except for science officer, super being, since he got the body of someone who is half human and half alien, i.e. Vulcan. He prepares the serum to give to all 3 of them. 909. He uses the right formula in each hypo, but nurse sees that he gave Captain Super Being a different formula. 910. Super Being science officer tells her, yes, this will slowly kill the Captain Super Being, for he will never let him keep this body. Then he uses telepathy to erase this idea and plant the idea that hypos are all prepared properly. 911. The super beings start building the android bodies or robot bodies for them to inhabit. 912. The science officer super being is working on the android body and chief engineer criticizes him, but super being replies that this will work and be much better than his technique of gears and pulleys, assuming that he lets him work. Just he mocks the chief engineer of the Enterprise. 913. Science officer super being tries to convince the woman super being to keep her body also. 914. Science super being tells her the android body is like 1,000-year prison and then will build another one. 915. Tactic. First officer super being, who has Mr. Spock's body, tells woman super being there is no longer any reason for her to keep that body. She can enter the android body already. He will add organs later, so she will at least look like a woman. She is horrified by the idea. 916. The captain super being feels terrible, so he goes to check the formula used, and it is the correct one. He collapses, and the woman super being calls the doctor. He says that the captain is dead. 917. In sickbay, the woman super being says that there is a way to save the captain. She'll help if the doctor tells her keep this woman's body in exchange. It will be their secret. The doctor says he does not peddle flesh. He is a doctor. 918. The captain refuses and she gets angry. Woman super being says he is no doctor. Next to them, he is a savage. She could force him to obey. She then shocks him with some form of energy field and he is tortured. But soon she stops it and apologizes. Then the captain says this is good. 919. Suddenly hear a voice of super being that was in captain's body. He is still alive. The science officer super being did not know all of the captain's super being's powers. In other words, the science officer, the guy who took Mr. Spock's body, killed the captain, but the captain had more powers than realized because he's a super being, so he didn't die. But he doesn't know that. He thinks he's still dead. 920. Woman super being thought he was destroyed, but he is in the computer of the spaceship enterprise. That sustains him. 921. Meanwhile, Science Officer Super Being is terrorizing and torturing everyone and thinks he is in command of the spaceship. He sits in Captain's chair. 922. Plan. Woman Super Being tells Doctor to leave since Captain Super Being has a plan to set things straight. 923. Tactic. They prepare a hypo enough to kill 10 bodies of the half alien science officer body. They give the hypo to the doctor to inject the science officer Super Being with to kill him. The alien is inside the body of Mr. Spock, so he needs that body to survive. So they pretend that they're injecting a very strong poison into that body, so he's scared of, so he escapes. Yeah, but where is he going to go to? 924. But alien Super Being can read the minds of everyone, so it's a problem. Many people can do it all at once, ? So he knows Doctor is coming to try to kill him. 925. Plan continued. Science Officer Super Being tells Nurse to take hypo and to inject the Doctor with it. She takes it and injects the Science Officer Super Being instead. 926. Super Being feels faint and vacates the body, thinking it is poison, but the Captain Super Being, who still exists, prevents him from taking another body, a power the latter did not know the former had. Anyway, he thought the Super Being was dead. Okay, so he was the Super Being in Spock's body wanted to take another body, but he couldn't because the Super Being stopped him anyway, the other one. 927. All receptacles were destroyed, but is real first officer dead now? ? 928. Plan. But the plan was great. The hypo did not contain real poison, but only enough to render the person unconscious. He only made Doctor believe it was lethal, so the science officer Super Being could read his mind. That's why the science officer Super Being thought it was poison, because he read the Doctor's mind. Because the Doctor was deceived. 929. But Spock's soul is gone. His receptacle is crushed. No part of the plan is his soul was put in the body of the nurse, both of them sharing one body. A place the science officer Super Being was least likely to find him. 930. Super Beings give up effort to build androids for themselves, the remaining Super Beings of their kind, but ask for one last moment together and are granted it by the captain and the other officer. Okay, 931. It is a great loss, however, since they could have roamed the galaxy forever, helping everyone, teaching everyone problems. Contradiction. The reverse prime directive will be violated. They don't help lesser developed societies, yet want more advanced societies to help them. Well, Roddenberry had the prime directive. You're not supposed to help other primitive societies, but here you have very sophisticated beings who are going to go help others in primitive society. That seems a contradiction. Okay, 932. Super beings were willing to take human bodies despite the fact that they'll age and are very delicate and easily hurt and get diseases and will die eventually. Okay, problem. Can they fix these problems? ? Can they use their powers to build better artificial bodies? ? Okay, that's the end of that episode. 356, really it's 338 or 336. Okay, page 95. This is the Doomsday Device episode. 933. The Enterprise discovers another similar Federation starship which has been damaged. It seems to have been attacked. I think the name of that spaceship was the Constellation, which was commanded by Commodore Decker. Commodore is higher than the captain, Captain Kirk. 934. There is no response on com channels, so the away team is sent to investigate. 935. All the crew is gone, only the captain is there. He tells Enterprise captain what happened. A huge weapon or some kind of being attacked them. So spaceship was useless, so all people were beamed down to the nearest planet. Captain is the last man on the ship. 936. But that planet no longer exists. The Doomsday Device chewed up the planet for fuel. All the officers aboard the planet were killed. He couldn't help them. Well, the transporters were down, so he couldn't beam them up. 937. The Commodore was emotionally distressed, so he was sent to the Enterprise. The problem, he didn't report to examination at sick bay. There was no time, question mark. 938. Chief engineer, well, it could be like post-traumatic stress syndrome. I mean, you know, he was in command and maybe over 400 people were just killed, and he might be responsible. Maybe an error in judgment. So there's guilt and etc. 938. Chief engineer checks the damaged spaceship, says warp drive is useless, but he may get impulse power. 939. Aboard the Enterprise, the Commodore says to attack that device since you must stop it. First officer, because the Commodore went, there was the spaceship was hit by some kind of weapon fire, so the Commodore went to the bridge instead of going to sick bay. So on the bridge, Mr. Spock was in command, but he's Commodore, so he's high in rank. So he told him that device must be stopped before it goes to other star systems. First officer is in command, refuses to leave. So he is relieved of command and back to his original duties as first officer. The captain is still on the Constellation trying to fix it with an engineering detail. 940. Commodore attacks the Doomsday Device and is told to stop, but continues. Mr. Spock insists that he should stop attacking it because its hull is made of solid neutronium, so a single ship cannot fight it. So they should escape it and warn Starfleet before even this thing can jam their communication. But the Commodore disagrees with Spock, even though Spock is the best science officer in the fleet and he's very logical. 941. Doomsday Device, this is page 96. Doomsday Device fires its spaceship and shields are destroyed. First officer must break off the attack, else it is suicide, and that is grounds for relieving him of command. Commodore says he is bluffing, so he says he never bluffs. Vulcans never bluff. So Commodore says veer off. The doctor wanted to relieve the Commodore before that for his actions, but Mr. Spock told him that according to regulations he has to produce a medical report, and the doctor could not produce it. So the doctor could not do anything, and Mr. Spock could not do anything, even if the Commodore acted recklessly, and the Commodore told the doctor to get off the bridge, and Spock could not do anything. Okay, 942. Okay, so So Mr. Spock told him to veer off, but by the time the Commodore left, it was too late. 9:42, but it was too late. The Doomsday device is holding them in a tractor beam, and they can't break free. They are being dragged into the mouth of the Doomsday device. So because of the error of the Commodore, now the Enterprise is going to be destroyed. 943. Meanwhile, Chief Engineer gives Captain on damaged spaceship the viewing screen, so he sees what is happening. Unlike he sees what is happening with his original spaceship, the Enterprise. Thinks his first officer is crazy. Captain Kirk thinks Mr. Spock is crazy for what he's doing. But really, Mr. Spock is not in command now. 944. Captain tells Chief Engineer of the need to move, or at least give him impulse engines. He says he is charging the engines. Captain says push it to the edge. He tells engineer he wishes he had phaser power too. The engineer says he does. Engineer recharge one of them. So the captain says that is great news. 945. The captain moves his spaceship and attacks the Doomsday device, even though he's on the Constellation, which is damaged, in hope that it will let go of the Enterprise. Well, this is like he's like sacrificing himself because the Constellation is almost free to save the Enterprise, which is always over 400 officers. It works, but now the Doomsday device is coming after them in the Constellation. So Captain Kirk and his away team are in trouble. But the Commodore distracts the Doomsday device by firing at it again. Okay, so this is, well, Mr. Spock told him there's no point attacking it because the hull of it is made of solid neutronium, so the phasers or torpedoes of the spaceship will not make any difference in attacking it. Okay, this is page 97. 946. Both spaceships, Constellation and Enterprise, are no longer attacked. It seems the Doomsday device ignores things beyond a certain distance. These are two spaceships, top of the line of the Federation of Planets, Starfleet. Officers trained in the Starfleet Academy. But the Enterprise is the flagship of